Hey guys, how are you? It's me again. I'm back for some fun. I have a few things to show you, and I was excited that I have things to show you. Nothing really happened going on, really. It's just another day here in New York. It's cold beyond belief out there today. Because of the cold. And I just couldn't get the cold out of me. I decided, hey, let's try something new. And I started a hat. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw the hat. I started a hat, and I actually finished the hat. And I'm making matching mittens to go with it. I started that today too, and I actually finished one mitten. Yeah, let me show you the hat. Here's the hat. For some reason on this creepy looking mannequin head, it looks like a slouchy hat, but on me it's not. But I like my hats to have a little slouch because I want them to be able to cover my ears like this one, but on my head it's just a basic beanie. For the crown part of it, I followed the pattern, the DZ Easy Beanie hat. This right here, it's on Ravelry. It's a free pattern, but just for the crown I followed it because for some reason any other hat pattern I've ever followed, their crowns never fit my head. I don't know if my head is too big, too small, whatever the case may be, they just never ever fit my head. So I always follow this one for the crown, and then I wing it for the rest, and which is exactly what I did. Creepy head going away. For the the 2 rows after the crown is initially increased, I just did half double crochets for 2 rows, and then I'm in love with this, the way this stitch is. It's the crisscross stitch in half double, and I did that until it measured about 7.5 inches, and then I just did 2 rows of half double crochet, and it fits perfect. It covers my ears, it keeps me nice and warm, and I can retire this hat now because I've been wearing this one all winter, really. The color I used, the yarn I used for this was something right out of, I'm trying to get rid of my stash. I'm trying to do stash busters, and I had this in my stash left over from a blanket that I made someone, and it was a corner to corner blanket, and I just said let's get rid of what I had, and it's loops and threads, impeccable. Yeah, so, in the colorway Luxury. It's very soft. It passed my squeeze test. No yarn comes into my house unless it passes the squeeze test. And I did it with an I hook. The I hook for the crown, and H hook for the body of, I did the I hook for the crown and the H hook for the body of the hat. I had to think for a second there. Sorry for the stutter. I don't know. It just, I wanted it to be a little bit tighter around my head, and I needed it bigger for the crown. I actually was wanting to make mittens, but I didn't want it to be too complicated because it would be my first time really making something with the thumb, and it wasn't an afterthought thumb. I actually did the thumb as I went along, and it came out pretty good for the first time. This is the one mitten. So far, I haven't started the second mitten yet, but I just finished this one. Thumb came out pretty good. I mean, it could have been a little bit better, but I didn't like the way it decreased. And I'm liking the fact that the top of the mitten doesn't have that point, but it can't. The decreases on the hand part of the mitten came out good. The decreases on the thumb, I didn't like the way it does, but you know, they're just for me, so it doesn't really matter. That one, I followed this pattern off of redheart.com. It's just, and it's for, I want to say it's for a beginner. Yeah, it is a beginner. But I just wanted something simple for myself. Just simple mittens. And I didn't want it like too fancy. I'm not really into that. The color, I don't really usually wear mittens either. I was I was debating on whether or not to keep the thumb off just so I could just still be able to text and use my phone because I have an iPhone. But I said if I'm going to do it, I might as well go all out. The yarn I use for this is also Loops and Threads Impeccable. Solid, but the color is lavender. It's nice, again, nice, soft, squishy. And I don't know what my obsession lately is with purple. I went from blues to purples. I don't know what my obsession is with it. I'm not usually into like the pinks and the purples and the girly colors. I usually like neutral colors like grays and things like that. But tomorrow I'm going to start the second one. That's the cuff of the, I actually started the cuff of the second mitten. But I'm probably going to finish the second mitten tomorrow. And then go from there. I have one more finished project to show you. But then I have stash enhancements. Okay. It's going to fall. This, remember I showed you this, the first or second episode, I don't remember. But I decided to try to line it. And look, it lined very nicely. It came out very, yeah, very good. I actually, what I did was I used a yarn needle and I actually hand stitched it because I'm not really quite sure on how to use a sewing machine yet. And Kathy, if you're watching this, I need lessons. Kathy, I love her vlog. I love her project bags too. Oh, that's another discussion. I digress. But I just took the yarn needle. It was a little hard to puncture through the fabric because I doubled up the fabric. But I just took it and stitched, basically just did a basic stitch around for it just to test drive and see how it goes. And I used the yarn that the purple yarn I used for the middle band on this. And so this way. I think there's a better, I'm going to take actual thread and stitch it too. But for now, I mean, for the test run, I think it came out pretty good. I have really, it's just, again, for me. I know I don't really like poor quality for myself, but just to test run it, it's good. And Barry, I think it was Barry who told me this too, for the strap, I'm actually going to take this one off because this one, I'm going to frog that part of it, and I'm going to take it off and make the strap separate from itself and go from there. Okay. Now, I have stash enhancements. Like, I think it was like a week and a half ago, I was on Instagram, and I was just scrolling through, and Yarnie Nana, Pam, showed that she bought mystery sock yarn package from Mary Maxim because they were running a sale, and I'm obsessed with sock yarn. I don't know why I'm obsessed with sock yarn, because it, for me, not really needle knitting it very well. For crochet, for me at least, it doesn't really work up nicely. But I found a few patterns that I can use sock yarn for, and I'm going to try to make a sock yarn hat with it. A lightweight hat for the spring, make it a slouchy hat. But I went on and I bought it, and I absolutely love what they sent me. It wasn't, I didn't pick anything out. It was a mystery, and I'm always weird with mystery ones because I do the mystery yarn box once a month, like the Yarn a Month Club kind of thing, and they give you hints as to what the fiber will be, the size of the fiber, what weight it will be, and things like that, but they never really give you any kind of indication of what the colorway will be. I've gotten horrible colorways, and I've gotten fantastic colorways. I've gotten side weights that I will never use, like lace and fingering. At the time, I wouldn't use fingering. I still have yet to really use fingering, hence the sock yarn. The first time I ever attempted to crochet with fingering or anything like super fine was the sock that I frogged that I showed you in episode 1. I don't know. I should be getting this month's yarn box by the end of this week, and I'm gonna open it with you guys because it's very exciting and fun to see what they send you. They give you 2 free patterns and things, but I'm going off on a tangent. Anyway, with the Mary Maxim, I ordered the mystery sock yarn, and they sent me really nice yarn, and I'm about to show you. This is Deborah Norville Serenity. sock weight. It's a very nice maroon. I honestly, I can't wait to use this. I think this is the yarn that I'm going to tackle the sock loom with, just because it's so nice and soft and squishy and things like that. I want to see how it works up and see where that goes, but I'm going to use that on the sock loom one, the regular sock loom. I don't know if I'm going to use the extra fine gauge one yet, although I do have it. There's that one. Then they sent these Croy socks. Patents. For me, it's not soft. It's good. It's soft, but it's not soft enough. It's, well, it's wool, 75% wool and 25% nylon. I like it, but I'm thinking, oh, my hair. I'm thinking of, this is the one I'm gonna probably either make the hat out of, because they send you 2 skeins, enough to actually make a pair of socks. I don't know if I'm going to make the sock hat, yarn hat out of it, or I have a book, which I'm going to show you, of fingerless gloves made out of superfine yarn, and I think that I may make it out of this. I actually, it's right here, sorry. My arm is in the way. This is the book. I bought it at AC Moore. The AC Moore by me is a warehouse store. Everything in the store, no matter what it is constantly 40% off. That's how I bought all my looms, like the extra fine gauge sock loom, the knitting board all-in-one loom. I bought a second Afghan loom. I bought a lot of the more expensive looms, because no matter what, it would be 40% off. So, and plus that, plus they accepted the coupon, so it was 40% plus another 50% off. So I managed to save a lot on those looms. But I bought this, Texting Knits, because at Christmas, I had a few people order fingerless gloves for me. I wasn't paying attention when I bought it, because I saw, ooh, Texting Knits, and with the 40% off, I said, let me just get it. I didn't read where it said sock yarn. So I've been holding on to this with the intentions of making one, but never could, because I really didn't have the right sock yarn for it. And I have the loops and threads sock yarn, but for some reason I didn't like the way the balloons one would be for this, but this is the one I plan on making. It's an easy pattern, labeled easy, and the easier for me personally, for my stuff, the better I am, because I don't like getting too complicated with me, because then if it gets too complicated and I get frustrated, I'm just going to toss it across the room. Wherever it lands, it'll stay there for until my dog chews and it eats it. That's pretty much how it is. I don't like too complicated personally for my own stuff, unless I'm severely in the mood for that. And there have been times where I was in the mood where I wanted something big and bold and just wanted to conquer a pattern, and that's my sweater. And I have yet to really go back to it, because I've been crazy this week. But this is the other yarn that they sent me. It's their own, actually, the Twinkle Toes sock yarn. I think this is so ridiculously cute with the little sparkles, and I think it's ridiculously cute. And if I don't use this for my mitts, my fingerless mitts, I'm going to definitely use this one, just because it's just so cute. Oh, I squeeze it. It's so soft. I love it. I love it. I love it. Sorry, I'm throwing it on the couch. Oh, this is, I don't know how this got in here. This is old loops and threads that I had, the luxury sock yarn. I don't know how that got in there. That's what my new stash. Okay. Maybe I put all my sock yarns together. Now I have this. I bought this. Actually, this was last month's yarn box. If you follow me on Instagram or in the Yarnie Collective, the Ravelry group, wow, that was hard to say, I posted that I got this. I love this yarn, and I have yet to figure out the perfect project for it, but I think I have. They sent me 2 skeins, and I love how it's just different shades of purple. The reason why I haven't used it yet is because it's DK weight, and I have not really done anything with DK weight. I primarily stay with worsted or like bulky or super bulky. I've not really done anything with DK, but I found a infinity scarf pattern, and I don't have it with me, I'm sorry to show you, but it's on my Ravelry page that calls for DK weight. And I know I keep saying I'm not one for scarves, but I love it. It's if I don't do that infinity scarf, I'm gonna try to tackle the road trip scarf. Now, I don't know if any of you guys heard it, but in a few of the on Facebook, a few of the Facebook group pages, they're going nutso over this scarf. I attempted it 3 times, and 3 times it was tossed across my room because I just could not grasp the concept. It's an easy pattern, so the writer says it's labeled easy, but I must be having brain farts. I don't know, but I just, the 3 times I attempted it, the 3 times I failed it. But I don't know if I want this to be, because it's DK and it'll be like a lighter scarf. I don't know if I want this to be the infinity scarf or the road trip scarf. Both are on my Ravelry page. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but this is from Fiber Story. It's hand-dyed fibers. It says hand-dyed fibers and other yarny goodness. The colorway is Winterberry. It's 100% superwash merino. Oh, actually, it was made in Michigan. Hand washed, gently lay flat to dry, handcrafted in Michigan. I love it. I love it. Now, my question is for you, and if anybody can answer this, is I don't have one of those Swift thingies. I call them the umbrellas. I don't have one. How would you recommend caking this? Because I've done some research, and they say to put it on the back of a chair, and I have the chair that I could do it with. It's just, I don't want to take it out of the skein until I know exactly how to cake it, because I don't want to ruin it. It's just, it's so, I love it. I can't get enough of that. I also went to my local yarn store I needed more Unforgettable Yarn, and they have, it's a mixture. They have worsted, they have acrylics, they have natural fibers. It's all mixed. And again, with purple, I saw this, and it's merino. It's 100% merino. It's a 50-gram bowl. I saw this and I fell in love. I'm trying to find the colorway. It doesn't really, it's made in Italy that I got, but the colorway isn't really, oh, here we go. The colorway is a number. It's not, it's 12954. It's a purple, and oh, I dropped it, I'm sorry. You know, the lighting in here, it's actually somewhat true to form. It's so soft. I actually got 4 of them. For some reason, there's only 3 in this box. But it's so, I love it. And I really don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. But you know when you go into a yarn store and they have, and you see it and you just can't walk past it without just giving it a squeeze? That was me with this one, and another color that I regret leaving there. I may go back for, but I wanted to see how this one. This is worsted, but for some, like, I feel like it's more of a DK because it's a very thin worsted. But I'm eager to use it. If I don't use that other DK weight for one of the scarves, whether it be the Infinity or the Road Trip, I'm definitely going to use this because it's just, I can't, it's too much. Well, now here goes well, yarn is never boring, but I consider this stuff boring. I'm going to be a second-time aunt. My sister's having another baby, and when my sister had my niece 5 years ago, I wasn't really big into playing with fibers yet, like fully. I was playing on the looms. I was making hats and scarves, you know, the basics that pretty much everybody starts off with, but I wasn't really getting into it. I hadn't made blankets. I hadn't made anything really. It wasn't until around this time last year when I discovered Pam's first YouTube channel, Pam Loomer, and I started experimenting more, and she gave phenomenal tutorials, and I started experimenting more with my looms and stuff. But that's when I really got into everything. But unfortunately, my older niece now has really nothing that I made her from a childhood. But my sister now is like getting all into it, and she wants me to make the new baby, who's due in June, a dress. So when I went to my local yarn store, it was an actual local yarn store. I went with the intention of getting a baby yarn so that I could make this dress. I actually ended up getting Red Heart because for some reason it was just soft enough to do that. And I got 2 skeins of this pink, it's Red Heart Soft Baby Steps. It's in baby pink. I'm gonna make, the pattern calls really for 1.5, but I don't know. I feel like there's 256 yards in here. I feel like 1 really will make it, because I'm making it a newborn size. I'm not making it 3 to 6 months, though I think I should. But it's so soft. I wish all of Red Heart's yarn was like this, and not just like, you know, because I'm not a yarn snob, and I like what Pam said, that she's a fiber snob, because I can relate to that, and I kind of agree with that. I don't judge acrylic, because I use acrylic, but if it's scratchy, if it's gross, I don't want any part in it. Like, I got rid, back when Pam had the rake club, I got rid of a lot of my scratchy, itchy, yucky yarns, because I felt I didn't want to throw them out, but I felt that, you know, just passing them along made it a little bit better. Like, it became the other person's problem, I guess you could say. But I didn't want to throw them out, and I didn't want them just to take up room in my stash, because I was never going to use them. When I first got into it, I bought everything up. I was the person in the store that believed 1 skein will get you like a blanket. So I snatched up a whole bunch of colors, and looking at it, even I still have some, and looking at them now in my stash, and you know, I have behind me is old bins full of yarn, but the bins behind me are the good yarns. I have a cabinet right next to me that is full of yarn that I'm really never going to use. Don't tell my husband that, because he won't let me buy anymore, but I'm really never going to use it because it's all itchy and scratchy and things like that. What I've been doing with it slowly is taking it out and using it for change purses, tattoos, appliques, things like that, and giving them to my brother-in-law to sell at the flea markets and things, because he does sports memorabilia at flea markets and card shows. So he puts it on his table and whatever, and I just sell them very cheaply just to get them rid of that yarn. And it's been working, but I feel bad because it's just very like Brillo-esque yarn. So that's why when I saw this from Red Heart, I was very reluctant to buy it, but it's so soft. Like, I would totally rock this and make a blanket out of this. It's so soft, you know. I wish they made all of their super saver yarn like this, but I guess they wouldn't make money if they did, because nobody would buy that one. And I also bought this, the Baby TLC. It's number 3. It's a light, but I made this to go with the dress to make booties and a like hat, or possibly a diaper cover and a hat. I haven't really decided with that one yet, but I bought this because I thought this was the cutest yarn ever. And again, it's Red Heart. I really do wish all of Red Heart yarn, like Red Heart didn't discriminate and made all their yarn like this, because it's so soft. But this colorway, it's their gumdrop line, and the colorway is cherry. I thought this was so cute. I would totally make a hat for myself out of this, and I don't understand that because I'm not really into these girly colors. But I fell in love with those, and I figured they're all like in the pink family, so I could very easily just make a dress, socks and booties and hats and stuff for the new baby, and my sister will be happy. I'm also I really don't know if I should show it. I'm also making her a blanket. Sorry, I know. Oops, I dropped something. I'm also making her a blanket. My project bag. This is a Vera Bradley bag that I bought because it was big enough to fit everything. I don't recommend going that expensive for a project bag. It was on sale, that's why I bought it. But making her a pink blanket to get wrapped up in. This is acrylic. This is Karen 1 pound. I actually, the pattern I'm following is a pattern from the Yarn Inspirations website. And it's a free pattern. I don't have it in here. It's a free pattern, and it calls for 1 skein of yarn. That's pretty much the 1 pounder. That's pretty much the reason why I said I'll make it, because I didn't want to get too crazy with all the yarns and going and buying, and I didn't want to have to add to my, if I'm going to add to my stash, it's going to be for me. It's not going to be, I know I'm selfish. I'm sorry. That was so mean for me to say, but it's true. If I'm going to enhance my stash, it's going to be something that I'm going to make for me. That's why with my natural fibers, I'm hoarding them, because I want the perfect project for me for them. I, for Christmas, got, if you follow me on Instagram or Ravelry or even my blog, which I haven't updated in a couple of weeks, but if you follow me in any one of those spots, you would have seen that for Christmas, I got a slew of natural fibers from my husband for Christmas, and one of them is this colorway it's perfect rainbow. It's self-striping, and I got about 15 skeins of it, and I'm trying to find the perfect pattern for the 15 skeins. I believe they're 100-gram skeins. They're not very, 110. They're not very big skeins, so I'm trying to figure out the perfect project for them, because next episode I will definitely show you them. And you can help me find a pattern, but it's self-striping. It's beautiful yarn. It's 100% merino worsted. Best thing out there. I found it and put it in my shopping cart on Etsy. It's X-Ray Ann is her store. She does hand-dyed yarn. Her yarn, she goes anywhere from lace to bulky, and you could special order. I love it. And he saw me put it in my shopping cart, and he bought it for me for Christmas because I have a tendency, if I got the itch to buy yarn, I'll go onto the websites like Etsy. Oh, bag just fell, kind of scared me. On Etsy and on Webs and on Mary Maxim, and there was sometimes I'll even go to Zulily and I'll go and put yarn in my shopping cart and let it sit there, because when I usually am about to put my credit card in, I start to get out of that hypnosis and wake up and realize, use what you got. Don't enhance, because it'll be there, and use up. And if I use up what I have, it'll make room for what I want. So that's what I do. And he saw me going on Etsy and just loading a whole bunch of hand-dyed and hand-spun yarn in my shopping cart, and he actually bought them for me for Christmas. Next episode, because I don't want to dig them out now, next episode I will definitely show you them along with my yarn box. That's it on about, I'm sorry, I took notes. That's it on about fibers and stuff. I haven't gotten far with my blanket. I added another row. It's just, it was sitting in the project bag today because it's so heavy, and I'm behind, and it's intimidating. But that's it. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I'm reading. Again, this is something I've been doing on my blog too, because I fell in love a few months ago. I want to say around the beginning of November. I had just finished a long series. I usually like to read series. I don't like to read one book here and there. I mean, in between I will, but I like to stay focused on a series. And I went on Facebook and I asked people what have they been reading, because I needed some inspiration. I needed some opinions. I needed some everything. So one of my friends suggested Janet Ivanovich, and she has this series, the Stephanie Plum series. Now, there was a movie based on the first book with Katherine Heigl. think my face just said it all. The movie was horrible. I stumbled upon it because I didn't even this is how bad it was. I didn't even realize that the movie was made until I was up to like the 7th book. It's a 20, right now it's 21, but I believe by April it's going to be a 22 book series. I was reading book 7, and that is when I realized that, hey, a movie was made on the first book, which was One for the Money. Now, I have Netflix. I enjoy Netflix more than I enjoy cable. But I have Netflix, and I went on Netflix, and it wasn't streaming. And I actually canceled the DVD portion of Netflix because I was never using it. I was getting DVDs and keeping them for like 6, 7, 8, 9 months. I was never using it. I was paying for it, and it was just there. So I canceled the part. So I was like, all right, well, it's not streaming, so what am I going to do? I went to iTunes. I was going to rent it, but iTunes didn't have it to rent. Okay. What do I do now? I have Amazon Prime. So I went to Amazon, and it was there to stream. So I stayed up late and watched it. Worst decision of my life. It was an hour and 10 minutes of time that I could have been spending sleeping rather than watching something that won like 3 Rotten Tomato awards. It was bad. And I'm not just saying that because I like the books. I'm saying it because it was bad. Think of the worst movie you've ever seen and then put this right next to it because it was just that bad. So I just chalked it up to a bad experience and continued reading the books. I stopped reading them for a little bit right after, I want to say around the about the 10th of January. My husband had routine surgery on the 15th of January, I want to say. The 12th or the 15th, I don't remember. And I've been taking care of him since because he had some complications after the surgery. And I haven't been able to read it. But I'm up to the 10th book in the series. It's the Stephanie Plum series by Janet Ivanovich. And the 10th book is the 10 Big Ones. Now, I have a Kindle. I ordinarily love reading books on my Kindle. But if I really, really, really like the books, I buy both. Don't ask me why. I will never, ever be able to explain to you why I buy both. Well, that's not true. I actually can explain it to you. When I'm sitting in my living room or even out when it was warmer outside, I actually like the physical book. You'll never be able to stop me from liking the physical book better than the e-readers. But because I have the new Kindle, the Kindle White, the Paperback, it has a built-in backlight. So if I'm in bed and I can't sleep, I just go and I turn on my Kindle and I read. Which actually benefits because there's more times where I can't sleep than when I can sleep, and that it makes it easier for me to keep up with the books. The only time it doesn't make it easier is when I bring back the paperback and I'm trying to find my spot in it. I just started this one this morning. I'm only on page 14, but oh look, my bookmark. Doctor Who. You're never gonna get me to not like Doctor Who. I like reading them out of both, but trying to find the page where I left off on my Kindle onto the paperback, it's not easy. I try to finish it like at the end of a chapter, so this way I could go back to the paperback. And when I do that, I usually update the paperback with it. But I don't know. I don't even know my point in all that. It was yeah, so that's what I'm reading. As I finish books, I'll tell you if they were yay or nay. And because I am an avid reader. I can go through a book every 2 days. And which is weird because I spend most of my time crocheting. Well, as most of you already know, I am unemployed. So due to some health issues in the past, now that I've had my lap band surgery, it's my back. I'm able to stand better on my back and have better feelings with my feet and my toes. So I can stand for longer periods. I'm actually going back to school for my master's degree. Because the field I went into while I was unemployed for the brunt of it, I went back to school for my bachelor's degree, and in social work, pretty much human services, family and child welfare. So now in the state of New York, to become a social worker or even a family counselor, which is really what I want to go into, I needed my master's degree. I applied to a few places. I am waiting to hear back. So keep your fingers crossed. I'm actually doing it online because it's just easier to do it online. I know people judge that, and I don't really care to hear what you have to say on that matter. I mean, you can leave your comments and whatever. I don't care. I did my bachelor's degree. I had my associate's degree from a ground campus. I have my associate's degree in hotel and restaurant management. For the brunt of my working life, from the age of 17 to the age of 27, 28, I want to say, I worked in the food industry. I loved every aspect of it. And then in 2008, it became a love-hate relationship. I loved helping people, but I hated going to work. I couldn't stand it. I hated, as much as I say I loved helping people, I can equally say I hated helping people. It was just getting to be too much. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week, and I hardly saw, he was my fiance at the time. I hardly saw him. I hardly saw my family. I hardly even saw my bed. And I was getting burnt out, and I said enough is enough, and I quit. I was, for a while, the general manager for 5 Cold Stone Creameries. That was my absolute favorite job. That nothing will ever take away from that. I had 2 incredible bosses, and I unfortunately had to leave because there was no way that they could afford to pay me. It's ice cream, winter. It just, living in New York and having actual winters makes it a little rough on ice cream places. So it got to the point where they said you could either stop working from the months of November through March and come back March and through the summer and beginning of the fall, or I can find another job. And I couldn't afford to take that many months off at that time. I had just finished college. I had student loans. I couldn't afford it. So I opted and found another job, which hindsight now is 2020, but I regret doing that. I regret not just taking the time off and enjoying myself and then going back, because there was no job like that one. It was the best. I went back to the job I had previously to that, and they made me a store manager, and it killed me. It killed my spirit. I called it the Italian slave trade, because that's how they treated the employees. And I was a female in a male world. So I wasn't respected very much, and it was just horrible. So I stopped working. I actually got into a fight with my boss, and I walked out mid-shift, and that's when I stopped working in 2008. But from 2008 until now, in 2009, I decided I'm going to go back to school and change my career completely. And I honestly changed my career completely is what I did. I went to school online. I started off at University of Phoenix, which I say start off because I didn't finish there. I graduated from Kaplan University online, and I have my degree, my bachelor's degree in Human Services, Child and Family Welfare, with the intention of going into CPS, which is Child Protective Services. After talking to people and getting much needed advice, I realized I can't do that. I can't be responsible for kids and not want to take them home and protect them and wrap them up and just keep them safe. I would want to take home all of them. There would be no way that I would be able to separate my personal feelings and from being a robot, because essentially that's what, in that business, from personal experience and from people I've spoken to, you have to be able to split yourself, be yourself at home and be a robot and work. And I don't think I could do that. So midway through, I changed my focus and decided that family counseling was what I wanted to do. And like I said, in New York, you need a master's degree for that. So I applied to 3 schools. The one I really want to go to is Liberty University online because it's in Virginia. But I'm waiting to hear back. So far, it seems good, and the prospects are very high. But again, I'm waiting to hear back. So until then, right now, all I really do, aside from take care of my family and my house and my dog and my husband, I crochet all day and I read. That's my outlet, is reading, because without it, I don't think I would be able to smile, I guess you could say, because it brings me into a whole new world every time I open a book. And I know that sounds corny, I know that sounds stupid, but I look forward to that. It's anyone who's ever had to deal with, I don't want to even say it's a disability, because I really don't have a disability, but when I had my aspartame poisoning, they were testing me full on for MS. And I was one step away from having the spinal tap. And when my neurologist said, no, we're going to try to change your diet. And, going through that for almost 8 months, it was scary. And it put me into a depression, and it was hard for me to get out of. And this is going to sound corny and cheesy and everything else. The way I got out of it, not only from reading, but the way I got out of it was the day I found loom knitting on YouTube. And Pam Loomer at the time, that was her YouTube name at the time. Now she's Yarnie Nana. But when I found those and enhanced my skills, that really honestly broke me out. So I'm very, 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 very attached to all things Yarnie. And my go-to person to always, for anything, will always be Pam. It will be, I honestly never told her that, but she doesn't really know I don't even know the words to say. She doesn't know the impact she had on me at that moment, because I don't really talk about it often, but she helped me without even knowing it. I was a complete stranger to her. Her vlogs, her podcasts, her tutorials, they helped me more than I can't even put into words. Her vlogs helped me a lot. There was a woman at the time who doesn't vlog anymore, but her YouTube name was Just Jerry. I looked forward to her videos because she helped me a lot too. Just hearing her and hearing her struggles helped me feel less alone, because when I was going those months, I was going through all those, being practically paralyzed on one side, not being able to see out of my right eye, my kidneys shutting down, some days not being able to walk because I couldn't feel my toes or my feet and my leg. It was scary. And these vlogs, I'm taking this time to, give my shout outs, but these vlogs really helped me. It was Pam's, Jerry's, Dina, Mosquito Valley vlog. She helped me a lot too. Which they're really the reasons why I'm doing this. It's because you don't realize who you can really reach out to and help and touch and guide, I guess you could say, when you're doing these things, because there's always someone on the other end that could possibly be going through the same things you are. And I'm not, this is going to be a very long vlog. I'm so sorry. This is going to be a long episode. But, you never really know. And like I said, Pam never knew the impact she had on me, because just seeing her laugh and just, seeing someone else who had the yarn obsession, because it is a yarn obsession, just made me feel less alone. I had my fiance. I'm not going to say I didn't, but I felt like I was trapped in my body because my body wasn't working. And through Pam, I found a few other vlogs now that I am addicted to. And One of them is Barry Gibson. I love that vlog. Her sister Kathy, I love that vlog. She can't really do anything because she's having technological issues right now, but her vlog is great. I love it. I think I want to hug her. She's just so, like, I can't. Heather May, I believe it is. I'm gonna link all these down below. Her vlog is fairly new and I love it. I look forward to every episode or every installment, I guess you could say. Gimme Yarn 418. That's another vlog that I'm highly addicted to. Hi, if you're watching. If you're watching, that rocks, man. That rocks. It excites me that Barry and Pam watched my videos, and Kathy too. There's a podcast that I just recently started watching because of Pam, and it's the Bakery Bears. I am so addicted to them. I wish they had one once a week. Their podcasts, excuse me, are like 2 hours long, but I absolutely love them. They put not only knitting into it, but I mean, they live in England, and my goal in life is to go to England just because I want to go to Cardiff and go to the Doctor Who experience, and I don't know, just, you know, and just them going to their favorite places to knit and being Abby's, and that's something I aspire and I really want to do. It's just, I can't explain it. There's other vlogs that I really love. Angie Wade, she had some medical issues right around the holidays, and I hope she's doing better. I have to catch up on some of her videos, but I love those videos. Yarnie Nana, I love those videos. Zach P, he doesn't really do it too often, but when he does it, I love him. And there's one that I discovered not too long ago that I love, and he doesn't leave his comments open, but he makes me laugh, and it's Dairyland Knits. He has a Ravelry group. I haven't joined it yet, but he makes me laugh. I can't explain it, but I mean, if we're going to talk about people who've had the most impact on me in the vlogosphere, it's Pam, Kathy, Jerry, and Dina. Those four. I can't explain it, but I thank you, ladies, because you helped me in a time when I thought I was completely lost and alone. But I think I shall end it there. It's about 48 minutes. I want to thank you for paying attention this long, and if you didn't, well, you won't be here for me to thank anyway. I'm going to link the vlogs that I follow down below. I'm also going to link to my Instagram. If you're out there and you don't follow me already, come follow me. I'm a Crocheting Whovian. On the name of my episodes is the name that I go by on Instagram. From there, you'll catch my Facebook if you want to become friends on Facebook, if you're very active in Facebook. I am more active in Facebook than I am on Google Plus, for reasons I will not get into. But yeah, I believe on the top of my YouTube channel, I have my Facebook linked. Feel free to send me a friend request. Feel free to message me, do whatever. I want to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me. So don't hesitate to reach out or shout out or whatever the case may be. But I think I'm going to wrap it up here and say goodnight, farewell, ta-ta, ciao. I don't know what else. I don't know. But you have a great night and a great day and a great evening, depending on what part of the world you're on. And I will catch you later this week.